Aw, I really wanted to keep that screen open. Oh well. Hello and welcome to Grimlight Games. I'm your host, Grimmy, and today we're going to be revitalizing something that we used to do here on this channel, but with a new perspective. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be checking out a game that is in early access from a small indie studio called Tavern Keeper. We're going to be playing through it for 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. Depends on how we're doing, how much fun we're having, and how much there really is to talk about. And the idea is, as we go through it, we're going to look at the game through two different lenses. We're going to look at it from the player's perspective, obviously talking about the game loop, quality of life issues, things that just generally either improve or disparage the player's experience. And then we're also going to look at some things from the game dev lens, possibly where things can be added or taken away, improved upon, or even just kind of, ask some questions from the technical side and standpoint. So this is a brand new series that we're going to be starting. I haven't decided if these are going to exclusively be streams or if they're going to be pre-recorded videos that I'll edit up later. But yeah, so it's a bit of an experiment. If you've gotten this far through the introduction and plan on watching the rest of it, I would love to get some feedback below via comment or through our Discord page. So let me know what you think as we dive right on in. So this is Tavern Keeper by Greenheart Games. And one of the things that I want to say, just first, right out of the gate, as I got this game, I saw it and I was just very interested because it has that cozy aspect that I love in cozy games, and it also is about managing a tavern, which, I mean, that just kind of really scratches a bunch of itches for me, which is awesome. Now, when I first loaded up this game, I was crashing every couple of minutes, and I tried a whole bunch of different things, couldn't really figure out what was going on, and I reached out to their support team. They got back to me super quick, gave me a whole list of suggestions on things that I could try to finagle, settings I could mess with to get the game to work, and lo and behold, it ended up working. So just want to shout out their small indie team, but they definitely really take a strong stance on being responsive to their community and helping to fix and solve problems. So want to shout out right there. That's a huge thing, and as an indie dev, you should absolutely be aiming to do that. Obviously, if you're a solo developer, that can be a little bit more difficult than having a small team behind you, but I digress. One of the cool things that I do want to point out too, before we get rocking and rolling, is that they have this handy dandy little thing that will kind of give you an idea of where your system is at versus what the game recommends. Alright, pretty cool, right? Slider curiosity, uninterested. So I haven't figured that one out yet. This is just kind of some creative little funny things that they added in, which was fun and exciting. So this one in particular, if you click this button, oh, repeatedly, look at that. See? Yeah, right? Just little things like that. There's some really fun humor in this game that's been wonderful and fantastic. But let's go ahead and we're going to start a new run. Now, I have played through all of this. There is about 15 hours worth of content currently in the game between these three different areas that you can play through in the story mode campaign, as well as free play options after that. They do have 3 more sections that they plan on releasing in patches that will be in the near future, and then the final patch bringing about the full game as well as the final area to play. So we're going to play through the second campaign mission called the Harvest Festival, mostly because I want to take another crack at it and try to get the perfect completion score that I did not get on my first time through because I was still learning the game. But yeah, let's jump right into that. We're not gonna mess with any of these settings. We want to use all of the default settings for the balanced function right into it. So as you can see, we definitely completed it, but this is the challenge that we're going for. We're going to try and win the best guild contest in the Harvest Festival. Now we can also see that these are the maximum amount of stars we're going to be able to achieve in this playthrough, and that'll make sense a little bit later once we dive on in. And we can also see some very specific traits that are to this scenario. Alright, cool. One of the reasons I want to play through the campaign as opposed to the free play is I want you guys to be able to experience the narrator and the story elements of this game, because they are definitely just something else, and I really, really enjoyed them. And you don't get quite the same thing in free play.
It's another beautiful day in Halflington as you arrive at your new tavern. There's no rot or slime, and it's even partially furnished. What luck! That's odd. The staff room furniture is badly burned. Must have been a fire. Nothing to worry about, I'm sure.
All right.
You've done this bit before, of course. Setting up to open for business should be a breeze. Just follow the list.
Okay, fantastic. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pause time right here. So with a lot of other, similar to other management sims, right, we've got a time function here that's going to allow us to speed up, slow down, and stop time altogether as we kind of plan out our moves and set up our tavern, and also deal with catastrophes and other crazy things as they may come. But one of the big reasons why I decided to pause this right out of the gate is because we've got a merchant that's going to be hanging out here. But he's going to leave in 2.7 hours. So I would say if this is your first playthrough, definitely slam that pause button right out of the gate just so you can kind of get your bearings, and also so you can grab some things from this merchant that are going to be quickly available to you for your start right before. Okay, so in this scenario, what we've got going on here, we've got a nice setup that's going to kind of give us the rundown of what we need to get accomplished before we can change this close sign up here to open and get moving. So the first thing it wants us to do, build a tap room. Okay, so we've got our wheel down here, and of course, another really cool thing that I want to point out, Dev speaking here, right? So with this, we hover over something and instantly we get a pop-up. But if I go off it quick, it goes right off again. So just in case you didn't mean to actually hover over something, and you can kind of see it, you have to stop on it for a brief second for it to actually pop up. But they've made it so that pop-up doesn't obscure your vision, right? If you're just kind of mousing over something, maybe stop for a second, then keep going. Good, great, awesome. But now, if you hold long enough, look at that, locks the window in place. All right, so now as long as I then move into this window is going to stay open, right? Nice little lock feature right up here. And if I wanted to go even further into this, because almost everything in this game you can hover over and get a tooltip. There's actually an achievement for like going as deep into a tooltip as it will allow you to go, which I think is a really clever option. For setting up a way in which your player can kind of navigate the rules of the world that you've created. So that's really cool. But yeah, if we wanted to dive deeper, there is an actual entirely built out compendium of all the different tooltips that you can possibly encounter. So that's another way you can go, right? Awesome. So let's go ahead and get a tap room built. I haven't decided if I want to just kind of like destroy everything here and start fresh. Because in my other playthrough, I did find that I kind of ran out of space as I was going, and then pretty much this entire area over here ended up being completely unused. So let's see, how do we want to set this up? And of course, now that we're going to kind of run into where I struggle to decide whether this should be a pre-recorded video or a stream, because now I've got to kind of figure out what I want to do with this while we're live, so there's not going to be any fun edits for this. I guess maybe we could set up our tap room over here, right? Because we are going to need people to be able to access this initially. Well, let's just kind of start building. Actually, I think it doesn't look like we actually get any money back for getting rid of those things. That's fine. That's fine. We are going to clear this out. I do want to take advantage of this open area here. Can I get rid of this entire hallway too? I think I do. Just do it that way. So we'll have our tap room set up here. And we've got some walls that we can't actually do anything about. And confirm that just so we can set up and get a door to actually enter in. Do I like this hallway here? Can use this as a storeroom for our kegs. This isn't going to be enough room though. It really isn't. I need to get rid of that. All right, yeah, we need to do that. We're going to rezone that and make it part of our tap room. Let's do this. Oh, can we use this wall here? Now, fortunately, because I'm still in this like initial building mode, if I do overwrite some of this, it's not going to be too bad. But we have to figure out that wall. Because these walls are completely immovable. I gotta pay attention to the money that we have as well. Actually, ooh, this'll work good. Yeah. Okay, and then we can make this our little storeroom for our kegs. Okay, perfect. I love it. I love it. Although, hold on, I gotta check something real quick. Okay, good. So in your first playthrough, you're not gonna have access to these small barrel racks. You get them later in the campaign, but we are gonna have access to that, so that's perfect. Here, enter there. I think we should also have it set up so they can enter here. Then we'll set up our kitchen and our larder. So we'll probably give ourselves just a little bit more in the tap room. Yeah. Let's leave it like this for now. We can mess around with it more later. So we can right-click to move things around. The setup where you've got the kind of apron, that's going to be the side that your staff is hanging out on. And then we've got a setup for our patrons on the other side. The solid block is going to indicate where somebody's going to stand as they are getting their drink. And then the not-so-solid block is going to indicate where somebody's going to stand waiting in line. So I think we're going to want to situate something like this. We're going to build the bar like straight across here, and then I think we'll actually do like a little bit of a angle. Yeah. Let's do that. So if we set it up, I want to make sure people can still kind of come in from this side. I don't like that. It's gonna be right by the door. Oh, whatever. Let's build this off first, and then we'll figure that out in a second. So I want to have 3 or 4. We'll have another setup over there. Oh, did not want to do that. Actually, I don't need to demolish that. We can just grab it and move it. Perfect. We probably didn't need that spacer, but that's fine. Oh yeah, we do need the spacer because then we can't actually have people wait on them there. That's the other cool thing that I do like, is it does show you when you have something kind of like impeding with another area. I think that gives us enough room for people to go through there. Maybe, maybe not. But this actually does give me a good point to kind of show one of the quality of life things that I'd love to see incorporated. So now that this is all assembled and set up together, you can see that this is a whole bunch of different pieces, right? We can't, like, select all of them, which is unfortunate for quality of life, because now if I want to move this, I've got to do the whole thing. Fortunately, though, they do give you some keys, so I can hold the shift key so that way this doesn't snap into place. Oh, there's a... yeah. So I want to give them a little bit more room. Okay. So we've got to... gotta move everything out of the way. We're just going to put that over there temporarily. I guess... if we let it snap, it works a little bit better. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll build that as far off of the wall as we can. That's going to give us a couple extra inches there that I think is going to end up working really good for that. Unfortunately, though, we do need to move all of these pieces out of the way. Boom. Do I need that spacer? I don't know if I need the spacers. Because we can't serve anybody at the corner anyways. Oh, yeah, we do need the spacer because otherwise it interferes with that other serving area. Okay, but we only need one of them. Perfect. There we go. I think that's going to be enough room for them to get around now. Now we are going to need some taps, right? We have to have at least one tap. Oh no. I may have miscalculated how we want this set up. No, nah, it'll work. Nope, no, it won't work. Okay. Well, let's address that. Because we want 2 taps, and it's going to make sense later. This is going to mess us up too much. I do love that for quick movement, this is another little quality of life thing that they did that's really awesome. So you can click it, obviously, and then click the move button to start moving it around. But if you just hold down the left click, then you're instantly in that move. You've got your right click for rotation. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Yep, right click so you can rotate it around. You can zoom in with it, all of that. Quick pickup if we hold down. I think you can also, yep, you can also just rotate it with the R key. So there's a lot of cool little things that they're allowing you to do with your setup. Oh my goodness, I've spent all of my money. That's not good. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, I think we've screwed the pooch. Let's... Where is it? Empty. I think this will give us money back? No, it won't. It won't give us any money back, so we may as well leave that. Unfortunately, I can't sell any of this stuff that's already here. I have completely bricked this run, I think, by not paying attention to my income. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. So, another fun little thing that they've got added in here that I'm not super thrilled that I have to do right out of the gate because I wasn't paying attention, but we can take out loans, okay? So we could check out the interest rate, what they're offering to give us. I think we're only going to need this one right here, and it's only going to cost us $29 per day, which is good. We're going to go ahead and grab that, which is then going to allow us to hire a staff. Let's see. They're going to need a bed, so we do need to rebuild that. That's going to be 50. Okay. I don't think we need any of these other things immediately, just the bed, so we're going to stick with that. Okay. We already have our storeroom set up. We do need something to hold stuff for our storeroom. 45. Let's see if we do the 45. Let's hire a staff first. So up here we've got our hire staff menu. And then as we check them out, you're going to be able to see kind of what their affixes are, if you will. So unskilled worker, right? This kind of shows you what their expectations are, what they want for their sleeping arrangements, and how they work, okay? And then you can kind of see what they'll do if they end up getting so unhappy that they kind of have like a mental break, right? Then down here we can see the different jobs that they'll have to do. and we can see how much skill they have in those jobs. Now the cool thing is as they do these jobs, they are going to gain more experience in them. And then we can also see whether or not there's special affixes to these jobs, like maybe they hate doing this job, maybe they're really good at it, maybe they can take multiple orders at once, things like that. So, Skylar is a comedian, which means they can boost service satisfaction when serving patrons. So this is obviously somebody that we're probably going to want to set up to be a server in our bar. And we can also see that they happen to be a unique staff. So we're absolutely going to hire Skylar right out of the gate. Okay, we have our staff. Our staff has a bed. We have a storeroom. We have a tap. We need some brews. House brew, Mudweiser Extreme. I don't like what you have on offer. Huh, well, the merchant doesn't have anything that I want. Good news is, we can hit our M key to bring up our map, and once you've unlocked an area and its markets, we can actually go ahead and get stuff from those markets. So if this is your just regular playthrough, you would have access to these markets right here, but not the markets up here in Grugamesh. But what we want is we're going to want to set ourselves up with some Quick Blossom, and then eventually probably either Stumpfoot's Pride or Apfelsham. Based on the star rating of what we're serving, we're going to find that certain patrons are going to have a different rating for it. So our bar right now is only going to attract tier 1 customers. So if we were to serve this beverage, they would be super satisfied with the flavor, but they would be very upset at the price, right? It's a more expensive brew. So we would then have to drop the price that we sell it for to make them happy. But in doing so, we're going to severely cut into potential profits. But now if we look at this, it's a single star, right? But now this is going to be a little bit more in their price range, so they're going to enjoy this a lot more, which means we're going to get an average rating of about 79. That's good. We want to shoot for around 80, 85 to get the most out of what we're doing. So let's go ahead and order 1, 2, 3. We're going to have 3 of those initially. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and do 4, because this is going to be one that we're going to carry into late game anyways. And now, if we have it delivered, it's going to show up in 13.7 hours. So that is a slight problem. We want to make money immediately, right out of the gate. Well, if we pay 29 more, we could have it for the immediate start and open of our bar. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and do that. Just because I don't want to serve that other crappy beer that the merchant was offering. Sorry, merchant. Have some drinks in stock, assign a drink to the tap, open the tavern. Alright, so we've got just a couple things left. We're going to go ahead and unpause this now so our delivery can go ahead and come on in. Speed up the time a little bit. And Skylar's just going to kind of walk around and do whatever it is that Skylar wants to do. I have a feeling Skylar is not on the clock right now. They are just passing time. There's also nothing for them to do, so it's really not a big deal. We'll get into setting up... Oh. We probably... excuse me. Should set up an area for them to then store our barrels. Bam. Right there. Love it. And eventually, when we kind of repurpose this all into the rest of our bar area, set up our stage here and whatnot. Where's our delivery? Okay, so here's our timeline up here. This is another good thing to kind of draw your attention to. This is going to show you what events are coming up and when. So right now we can kind of look at what's going on now. We can see that we're getting a delivery that's coming literally right now, and the merchant is leaving in 1 hour. We can look over here, see that we're going to need to pay $44 in 14.3 hours. Then we can also see that the merchant's coming back in 1.8 days. All right, so that's all situated. Oh, she's repairing some stuff. Cool, good job. Let's select the Quick Blossom. So now that's going to be all set. Assign a drink to the tap. Did I not just assign a drink to the tap? I thought I did. I guess it doesn't do anything until it's actually not started yet. Let's prioritize this. Come on, we gotta open this place. We need to make some money or we are gonna go bankrupt. Alright, once this is on tap, we should be able to open. And we can. And guess what? We are officially open. Alright. Ooh. So this is our deed, and we need to name our tavern. Well, we are in Halflington, and we're going to be serving halflings. So, you know what? I think... half pints. Sounds like a great little play on words there, right? Yeah. Okay, Half Pints is officially open for business.
May your cozy new tavern under the hills soon be filled with cheer.
So, now we're finally going to be getting some customers coming in, ordering some beverages, and hopefully leaving happy. Let's see what's going on here. The Halflington Post. Oh, great. Awesome. So this is just kind of telling us about the event that's going to be playing out through this campaign mission, which is going to be the Harvest Festival.
That means the annual Harvest Festival will be just around the corner. What a treat.
Here we go. You can have your beverage. You can pay. Fantastic. Okay. Goodbye, Mr. Merchant. Oh, yeah, we're gonna need... We're definitely gonna need some floor mats, or it's gonna get pretty gross in here pretty quickly. You can already see that their little bare feet's tracking in all this mud and everything else that's going on. So, we just had a storybook event pop up. This is really cool. So, we've got a special patron who has entered our establishment, Glenda Slatekeep, and Glenda has a story for us. So we're gonna go ahead and click and open that on up.
Hello there. I'm Glenda Slatekeep, Mayor's Liaison. The Mayor's office put together a wee gift basket to welcome you to the neighbourhood, and just in time for the Harvest Festival. You turn to find a halfling woman brandishing a huge basket overflowing with flowers and festooned with ribbons. Nestled among the flowers is a sign reading, "You're new here." I'll just put it up here on the bar top then.
Okay. So the fun thing, your decisions in this game, they don't matter, but they matter. It's going to play out differently with everything that happens, but there really aren't anything. There's nothing you can do selection-wise that's going to just completely destroy your playthrough. You'll see as we get a little bit further on.
Glenda blushes and looks down, scuffing a toe on the floorboards. Well, I did sew the ribbons, and I helped the children arrange the flowers, but really everyone did pitch in. We wanted it to be special for you. I'm so glad you like it. So thoughtful of your patrons. You'll do well here. Well then, I'll just let you decide where to best display it. Glenda beams as she looks around the tap room. You're about to be a busy bee. Folks around here are so excited to have a place to enjoy themselves again. It was such a shame when that dreadful fire shut the old place down.
Oh, that explains why there was some busted up furniture. Yeah, oh, look, right there.
Oh, yes. Just a little fire. Nothing to worry yourself about. Just a run-of-the-mill fire that
arson
sprang
or
up
an
out
accident?
of nowhere overnight and destroyed the previous owner's livelihood. These things do happen. Glenda rolls her eyes with a wry chuckle. Some folks thought it might have been arson. Don't be. We're surrounded by trees. A little fire here and there is to be expected. That's what the fire brigade is for.
So yeah, fire is a very real thing that can happen in your tavern, and you either have to put it out yourself or wait for the fire brigade to show up.
Corner of the land.
Now, of course, when I was saying that we need to put some floor mats down because we are absolutely tracking in mud everywhere, the dirtier your tavern becomes with all the dust and mud and whatnot, it starts to become more and more of a fire hazard. So how do we know? Well, we've got this fun little magnifying glass over here. And if you've played lots of simulation games before, then you'll probably recognize this, right? It's going to give you different ways or filters to look at what's going on. And you can start to see like flammability, right? Okay, so if we put the flammability on, now we can see everything that is in fact sparking. Now, if there's something that the sparks are hitting that is flammable, that will kind of like pop up in a different color, right? So, of course, as soon as I say that, it doesn't actually work. Oh, I think we have to grab this. No, that doesn't. Well, anyways, at some point, there is an indicator that will actually show you if something is flammable and how, what the odds of it catching fire are based on its coloration in conjunction with the actual sparks. So you can see right here, there are in fact sparks hitting this. So depending on how flammable this is, how much dirt and footprints are, right, its chance to actually kind of catch fire increase. So right now, we're at about a 0%, right? So we don't even have to worry about this catching fire. And I think the way that the campaign is set up, we don't have to worry about anything catching fire until we get a little bit further, but we'll get to that in a second. So now we get to look at designs. So design, this is where this game is really, really going to take off and give itself just so much replayability and customization as you're going through, especially when you get to your free play modes. The sophistication within the design function that they've created in this game, it's like a whole other game all on its own. We'll get into it a little bit deeper later when we start setting up different designs, but for now we've got this free one, and we're just gonna pop it right there on the corner of our counter.
Lovely.
And now if we wanted to alter this in any way, whether it's its pivot, its angle, movement space, size, we can rotate it, lift it up and have it float in the air because, gift baskets do tend to float in the air like that. Which is basically, there is nothing that we can't do in manipulating this object in its physics to get the design that we truly want. So, really, really cool. And of course, when you're in design mode, it's automatically paused. We are going to pop out of that, though, so that way we can get back to the game and making some money. So we do want to advance a little bit further, and we've already been going for about 30 minutes, though I feel I have gotten the opportunity to kind of touch on a lot of the things that I wanted to discuss as we were going through this. But I feel like we're going to run out of time before we get to, like, really see some good gameplay as it starts to ramp up. Because, I mean, obviously right now we've got this giant open space. Ooh, they're getting a little upset. We're going to go ahead and offer him a free drink to help reduce that timer, so he ends up leaving happy. Because we are ideally trying to keep this pretty high. And on top of that, if we want to raise the stars of our tavern, which will then attract better patrons, more patrons, we do have to fill these requirements. So we're going to need to serve at least 10 Tier 1 patrons, almost done with that, and we need to have 2 drinks on the tavern menu. So this is why we're trying to get enough money so we can start ordering our Apfelsham, which will be a good drink to serve to our 2-star patrons when they start coming in. And then we're going to want to start to think about our services. We need to get an outhouse pretty quickly. The first day or two, we're not going to have any patrons coming in that are going to need to use the facilities, but eventually they will, and then if they come in, they can't find a bathroom, they're going to get really upset, and that's going to start to tank our rating. So we can actually open this up, and we can see how we're doing with the various things. So right here, we can already kind of see that the atmosphere is something we're going to want to work on, which is our cleanliness, the warmth, and the lighting. All right, nothing too crazy there. We're doing good with overall, we're doing good with drink, they love our decor so far, and they love the service. Now, service could be a little bit better. Anyways, let's keep it rolling. We're almost at the end of the day. Yeah, you're still working, right? I probably should... Oh, I don't have a staff workboard yet, so I can't even modify what Skylar's actually doing. Yeah, again, there's so many cool things that I do want to cover in a playthrough, and we're not going to have enough time. So this is kind of helping me lean towards... We'll probably do recorded videos when we go through indie games and check them out like this, just because I think we'll be able to get more out of it in the future. And then maybe at certain points in time we'll do live streams of indie reviews, but I think it is probably going to make more sense for us moving forward if we do these as pre-recorded videos. So if you're here watching live today, enjoy, because this is probably not going to be the norm for this format.
No shortage of thirsty patrons around here, it seems.
Successfully survived our first day. We did make some money, so that is good. Oh, wow, this is still sitting out here, huh? Good, good, good. Well, we'll go ahead and get that all loaded up. And then, I think since we definitely do have enough money, we're going to go ahead and... Do I want the Apple Sham or do I want the Stumpfoot's Pride? I mean, we're not going to really get 3-star patrons, so it's probably not a big deal. We could even potentially do the Stellar Aura. So that'll be perfect for our Tier 2 patrons. And it's a little bit cheaper, and it looks like the stock is actually going up, so that's good. This game does have its own kind of like little economy going on in the background. As you're ordering ingredients from the store, you'll be able to see if like the stock is decreasing or if it's increasing. So if it's decreasing, right, that's going to kind of start to drive the price up a little bit, and if it's increasing, that's going to help drive the price down. So let's go ahead and get 3 of these, so we'll have them in stock and ready to go. He's like, we probably should do 4, just so that way we'll have 1 on tap. Oh, but we can't even have 1 on tap yet, because we don't have another tap. Yeah, whatever. Let's do 4. Let's get 1 more Quick Blossom, and we're just going to have this show up as a regular delivery, so that way we don't pay more for it. I want to make sure everybody gets paid, and then we'll see what we have left for cash monies. So we're still going to need another staff. We're going to need floor mats. We need an outhouse. It's just things that we got to do. Things and stuff. Things and stuff. Fortunately, we can crank this up into the fastest speed, so it's going to get us to the next day a lot quicker. Okay, so we successfully paid. We've got 90 left. What do we want to do with that 90? 60 for a tap, or 50 for an outhouse. Let's get the outhouse now. Then as soon as we get some paying customers in, we'll go ahead and grab the second tap. Then we'll probably wait until this day's over and start working on our floor mats. The unfortunate part about the outhouse is we're not going to use it forever. It's just kind of our first means of providing our patrons with a bathroom. So let's go ahead and really rapid fire through this. Okay, good. So she's going to start cleaning up a little bit before people show up. That's great. Awesome. Clean that up. We don't need any fires. Not yet. Not yet, at least. Although I will say it looks like we've still got 0%. So here's our delivery. Little straw golem comes through, drops that off, and we are golden. All right, we got some people coming in, ordering drinks. We have nowhere to put those kegs. That's all right. They can stay there for a little bit. I just don't want to run into a situation where we can't afford to pay our worker and or our loan at the end of the day. So what do we need? We need a tap, and we need somewhere to store our barrels. So that's going to be 60 for that. And then, I mean, I do want to just straight up do a small barrel rack. So let's go ahead and do the next small barrel rack first. Just so that way we can get everything up and off the floor. 75. Let's see, what do we need? Pay 44 in 2.5 hours. So we are definitely going to make that. Let's just see what we end up having left over. These will be fine for a little bit before they end up getting bad. Okay, minus 44. We are good. We are golden. Wonderful. Oh, so we've got a guest request. So here's another cool little thing that we gain access to. This fun little board is going to tell us when we have groups that want to come into our establishment. And then we'll be able to look at the group and see what they want. So, this is going to be a group of 4. The tavern needs to be open, which it will be, and they want a drink. Well, we have drinks on tap. If we are able to satisfy all 4 of these patrons in this group, we're going to get a bonus 31 gold on top of the gold that they spend on their drinks and their tips. However, if we're not able to satisfy them, we're going to end up losing money on this exchange. Now that's in 1.6 days. I think we're totally going to be able to handle that. I mean, right now we're pretty solid on our overall happiness. Okay, click that quickly. So the other thing is, you can feed money into this, which is going to open up more of this timeline. So as you can see, right now we can only see a few hours. And then we know that there's patrons coming in these particular time slots, but we know nothing about these patrons. Now, if we instead flip over to this eye, we can start putting money in that's going to unlock these little hidden blocks, and it's going to tell us, similar to this group, what that particular patron wants to feel satisfied. So this is another cool way that the dev has added in that you can really start to build and plan around, when you're open, what services you're offering, or where you're putting the most time and attention to based on who's going to be coming in. So especially if you start playing in the harder difficulties, that's going to be absolutely paramount to your success. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say I think we can add our next tap. This is going to be a little bit dicey, just because once we put that in, right, we've got 1 gold, and we need to make at least 44 in the next 16 hours. I don't know if it's going to make a difference if we end up turning the rest of this into a tap room as opposed to a hallway. I'm trying to think if there's really anything we can do with that. Or maybe we could probably set up like a nice dartboard here in this little hallway, and then we'd end up blocking it off there, which that would actually be pretty cool. That would keep it out of the way and accessible. I think I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Now, obviously, hindsight, the other thing we could have done is we could have actually built our bar, like, off of this extension here, and then had the storeroom directly behind it on this side. Oh, okay. So if I end up replaying this one, I think that's actually how I'm going to set up my tap room for a future playthrough. I like that idea. Let's see what we got going on in our Halflington post real quick. All right, just letting you know, you can go ahead and show up to Half Pints. Get some, if you like food and drinks. Well, we don't serve food yet, but I like the optimism there.
Another fire? It seems the fires are all happening to businesses expanding for the festival. Curious.
It also looks like there was another fire in town. All right, so cool. We did end up making enough money. We're going to be able to pay our bills again. We're going to go ahead and put our Stella Aura on that. Our drinks have earned a 1-star rating. So this is our little helper, Hops. Hops is pretty cool. Hops helps us out and lets us know when things are going on. So, if we want to get a 2-star tap room, we now need to serve tier 2 patrons. And now that we have a single star in our drinks, actually no, I don't think we're going to get 2-star patrons until we have a full star, which means we're going to need to get up to, probably get a 1.5 stars on our services. Maybe we'll start attracting 2-star patrons at this point. Oh, I need to go ahead and click this. Another fun little thing, right? They've got these little animations in between when you collect cool things, just to give you that little dopamine hit, which is a really nice touch, right? And if you want, you can skip it too, so you don't even have to mess around with it. We got more unlocks. We're not going to bother to check those out just at this exact moment. Okay, yeah, so now we are at our full 1st star because we've got a star of each, which means we will start to attract 2-star patrons. 2-star patrons are going to need more services to feel comfortable and happy. I am selling
I
half.
expect it won't be long before the guild notices your progress.
All right. Let's speed up time a little bit here. Oh, we've got an unknown event coming very shortly. Letter from the mayor's office. Oh, heck yeah. Awesome. So we just got a nice little infusion of cash monies. We love that. All right, let's go ahead and rebuild this so we can eventually get another staff. And let's go ahead and rebuild the staff table to make our staff just a little bit happier. Okay. So with that, we've got plenty of money. We're going to go ahead and hire another staff. I think for now, we're probably going to look for somebody who's really good at cleaning. And then that's probably going to be the majority of their work right out of the gate. Easily bored and hates to have nothing to do. So he'd probably be a good choice for a janitor. We definitely don't want to have him set up as a chef because he does not like that. We've got others we can look through. I don't want to hire anybody for night shift yet because I don't think we're going to be in a situation early game to have the tavern open longer and 2 specific shifts running. This guy, he's a fast worker. Okay, so he moves at a fast pace. He's not a very good server and or janitor though, but it's not going to be too long before we have food available to us, and we are going to need a chef. Fortunately, these guys stay in your hiring pool even when we get this event right here where we get new applicants. So we don't need to hire him yet, but he's one that we're going to want to keep an eye on. Ooh, she'd be really good for our staff who's going to eventually just move a whole bunch of stuff for us. But realistically, we need a server or a janitor. Ooh. Oh man, that's going to be another really good chef, okay? So the things that this chef makes are going to last longer, and she's got 2 hash marks on this, which means she is a much better chef than any other chef we can get. Okay, so I think we're going to end up grabbing Caesar. Yeah, Caesar's going to be our guy. He's not great at serving, but we're going to try and set him up to do most of our janitorial tasks anyways. Although we can't really tell him what to do yet. That's the next thing we're going to need. Let us get a work schedule so we can finally tell these guys what to do. All right, so we're going to open this on up. Now, we can look at their schedule. All right, so they're both working 14 hours, and that's not red, so that's good. But if we add another hour, now suddenly we've entered into red territory. So this is going to tell us that we're going to wear this worker out if we have them working that much. So we definitely don't want to do that. We can situate a whole bunch of different things, what jobs we want them to do specifically, and they will change into a uniform if they have access to a locker, which will make them better at that particular job. For now, I think we just need to worry about them being generalists. Once we have the kitchen open, though, we're definitely going to make it so Caesar doesn't accidentally do some cooking, so that's when we'll probably specialize him into strictly being a janitor. But for now, this is good. We're going to leave it as is. All right, get on in there, Caesar. Put yourself to work, bud. We got to make some money. Okay, so for our drinks, we don't have to worry too much about that. That's just going to be Tier 2 patrons coming in. Services, though, this is the next one that we're going to need to get situated. We need a bulletin board, a dartboard, and a comfy chair. We are going to have to pay attention to this as well. Let's see. And we're also going to set it specifically. This one's going to be our vine blossom. This is going to be our stellar aura. So I do want to go ahead and do what I was talking about, because that shouldn't really be that expensive to make the rest of this into... Oh, what did I do? I did it wrong. Tap room, tap room. There we go. So we'll set up like this, right? So we're still going to have that little hallway out to the end, which... I mean, I could just build a wall there, but we're just going to leave it as a hallway. That's fine. Right? Oh, we probably could have... we're just going to take this all the way to the end. Yeah, we're just going to do that. Now we've got 212. So we did need a dartboard. Oh no! Oh, that's so unfortunate. That hallway's not wide enough to do what I was really hoping I could do. Can I do anything with that? Can we fit a small... Okay, so we still could put some small tables in there. So I guess that's not terrible. I really don't... I wish the dartboard fit. And I mean, we could position it like that, but realistically, you do probably want to have it set up so 4 people can participate, because if we ever get a situation where a group of 4 comes in and they all want to use the dartboard, yeah, that's going to be something we're going to need. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. We're going to have to put the dartboard somewhere else. Probably like right here will be our dartboard. But with that in mind, we are going to go ahead and do this because we don't need that wall there. And then we probably will just put some tables on this side, so that way we don't crowd this room too much, and then we can still kind of use this space. Again, now that I know that, and I'll say it again, I think the better layout really would have been to set my bar up to kind of horseshoe over this opening, and then have our storeroom back here for our brews, but then also have another doorway so staff can, you know, kind of come in and out real quick, grab what they need to there, and get back to work. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, look. Hey. So one of our patrons was so happy that they left us a gift. This is something that you're going to encounter as you're playing, which is awesome because, A, you're going to get a free build of the item the first time you get it. So this, I believe, is going to be our comfy chair, and that's going to be a really nice comfy chair. As well as we get some other cool stuff that we can play around with. Love it. Nice. Fantastic job. So that's really good, because now we can go to decorative, and we can go to furniture. Or not. Is it antiques? No. Oh, you know what? It's in tap room? Comfy chair? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is going to be our corner pillow lounge. Oh, man, how do we situate this comfy chair? I mean, in theory, that works, right? I don't hate it. Yeah, we'll do that. Actually, okay. So we're gonna shift this around a bunch. Then we're gonna hold shift so we can actually put this right back against the wall. We do want those candles exposed just because it's nice ambiance. And then we'll probably put a scroll rack right here so that way people can read. 141. How much is our scroll rack? Like 35? Okay. 106. I don't think we want to spend too much more, because we've got... Oh, tavern... Is my tavern not even open? No, it is open, but it's going to shut down. Okay, so we need 55 in 9.6 hours, so we're not going to spend any more for now. But we are going to need to stock this, which is going to cost us some money. We can do 15 with the new arc times. That's fine. She wasn't too happy. Why weren't you happy? I want to find out. You didn't like the atmosphere, huh? Oh, brightness and cleanliness. Yeah, it is kind of gross, isn't it? All right, we need a little bit of lighting. We need lighting. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? 120 for a chandelier. I want to grab a chandelier because they create some nice ambiance and they don't take up too much space. So we're going to keep our patrons in the dark for a little bit longer. Let's check out that group that's incoming. Can we... Oh, we don't have food, but that's an optional need, but you need a bulletin board. I'm probably not going to have a bulletin board ready to go for that, so we're going to go ahead and not take that group, so that way we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Alright. Let's go at super speed. How are we doing? We're still pretty good on our stock. We've got another storyboard. Let's check this out real quick.
You hear distinctive footsteps, brisk and precise like a ticking clock. You turn to see Dorothy frowning at the decor. A parcel is under her arm. You're off to a decent start here. Plenty of space, that's good. You'll have your hands full soon. I brought you something to help. She swipes a fingertip across the countertop. Her brow furrows in distaste as she reluctantly sets the parcel. Indeed. She taps the parcel.
Oh, okay. So I already had access to this, but at this point in the story, this is where you would get that future board that I was talking about a little bit earlier.
Business like that. We're calling it the Patron Attract. See that you do. Please refrain from letting me down. Dorothy sighs. Speaking of letting things down, I believe I'm due to let my hair down a little.
Fantastic. All right, so guys, we've been playing for about an hour. We really didn't get as much gameplay out as I would have loved. I would have absolutely loved if we were able to get up to like 2.5 stars, get the kitchen running, all that fun stuff. So that way you could see more of what this game has to offer. And honestly, I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to do a new playthrough and just do a recorded video. So that way I can really, really show off a lot of the cool stuff. But, so let's take a look at this game objectively with some of the categories that we talk about when we do our game jams. So first and foremost, let's identify our game loop. So with the campaign, and with free play in general, what we're setting up to do. We have a tavern that we're trying to manage. We're trying to manage inventory, we're trying to manage staff, we're trying to manage the happiness of our guests based on all the different services and whatnot. So it's a cozy sim, but at the same time, there's definitely some chaos that can get thrown into it between having fires, trying to figure out the best way in which to get your customers happy, trying to work within the confines of a budget, taking out money from loan sharks, all sorts of fun little things there. So as far as scratching the itch, if you like cozy sims, if you like Tavern Keeper sims or business sims, I really feel that this game is going to scratch that itch for you very well. They've done a great job with setting up their game loop here. And just having, you know, this narrator who is narrating everything and doing voices, it's a very, very nice touch and is very much a part of this game loop, this driving narrative that's making you want to go further and further. And when I first grabbed this game and started playing through it, I absolutely just sunk time into it. It's one of those ones where, you know, you're like, oh, I'll just one more day, and then before you realize it's like 3 a.m. and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And my tavern, it's not running as smoothly as I want it to. But you know, you eventually have to shut it down and just start fresh the next day. So yeah, absolutely, game loop really nailed there. I have no notes for the developers on this. You guys did an amazing job. Keep up the good work. So we can't really talk about theme interpretation here because, well, they weren't participating in our game jam with a theme. But if we're looking at it from the theme of just a cozy sim in general, I think all the pieces are here. This fits really well. There's a nice, fun little humor to it. There's some serious stakes. And of course, you've got free range design over everything in the tavern to really make it you know, what you want it to be. So, original concept. Well, while the idea of having a simulator game where you're simulating, you know, your staff, a business, any of that, is not necessarily an original concept itself, I think that they have done an amazing job here putting a spin on it that is very unique to this studio. From the art style to the witticisms, the comedy that they've intertwined, even within their own menus, the comedy that they've intertwined is just very wholesome and it's very unique. Let's see, what are the things about the concept of it? Just kind of having set it up so there's all these different things that you have to manage and play around with and be aware of. I think they've done a really good job here as well, which kind of brings us into technical execution. So one thing, and this is honestly probably the only thing that really bothered me, was design mode. And I'll show you specifically what I'm talking about. So let's do objects. So we want to find an object that has multiple things in it. Oh, actually here, this is a better way to do it. So we're going to go to our lighting. No, it's not that either. Where the heck is it? my gosh. Is it oh, it's decoration. Okay. So I'm looking for this, the candle shelf, okay? So yes, it's a ton of money, and we're just going to spend it. So immediately, right, okay, that's not bad. We've got it set up there, which is fine, because right then we can enter into design mode, which will then allow us to move it. But what I want to take note of that I don't like is how you can't move the whole thing as one unit just with a single click, right? Now, granted, there are ways that you can set this up, right? So we can go ahead and we can hold our control key. It belongs to a different item. What are you talking about? Or is it shift? Did I screw the whole thing up? So these are all one item. These are all one item. Okay, I think I may have inadvertently screwed this object up. Ah, crap. By trying to move it. So, but like you can see, right? This is a challenge now, trying to figure out how to move all of these together. And I did have it figured out before. And let's... Okay, good. I think that reset the whole thing. So if we enter back into design mode, let's try this again. Control. No, this item belongs to a different... Well, I think they're just two separate items now. But anyways, so that's the one technical thing that I would love to see a little bit more work put into as they get closer to their final release, is just objects that should be all one piece. While I love the idea that I can move them individually, I think it should be a little bit easier to set up when you're moving everything all together or when you're just moving one little piece, right? Because these little cones here, this is actually the light that these objects are throwing. And as you can see, I can move each of these individually as well from this center point. Right? Which, I mean, it's pretty cool. That gives you a ton of flexibility. But I want it to be easier to move them individually and together, because I'm very much struggling with how to do that. Multi-select. Control plus click. Yeah, that's... I think I screwed it up by... Oh. No, it is. It's because I moved the shelf already. Anyways, I'm wasting so much time just talking about this. Anyways, want it to be easier. Want it to be better. Cool. Other than that, technical execution. In the 15 hours that I played through this campaign, not one bug did I encounter. There was one instance where I ended up getting one of my staff members stuck in a wall because I built something right as he was like moving through it. But there, and maybe it doesn't show it. So if he was stuck, he would have this other option pop up where you can actually reset him if he's, stuck on something, which is a great little quality of life feature too. Granted, again, that was like the only time I ever ran into him being stuck, and the fix was actually just to delete the object that I had built on top of him. But anyways, if, or no. What it was is he wasn't stuck because of anything other than he could not move to where I had assigned him to do a job, because I had stupidly forgot to put a doorway in the hallway, and that was it. But if he was actually stuck, I could have him reset, so that's a really cool quality of life. But again, yes, technical execution. Even with the freedom of which you can move things around, right? So you try to move the object, and then it just default snaps to walls, but then if you hold the shift key, you really have that freedom to select where it is. And having it set up so you can see when an NPC or a patron or anything isn't going to be able to interact with that object, that's huge. That allows you to kind of see that so you can place things and not get kind of like railroaded down the road. Like all of a sudden you're like, wait, why aren't other people using this? Like, because you can actually see when they can and can't use something. So that's another really good aspect. I think this is very well technically executed. They've got a banger of a game already, especially for being in early access, because, I mean, there's a lot of games that go into early access way too early, in my humble opinion, but this is not one of them. So, Greenheart Games, Tavern Keeper, it's in early access. There's 15 hours easily of current playable content, and you definitely won't be disappointed in this if you enjoy this kind of game and it's your itch. So definitely would say I highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to the full release, and I'll probably cover this again in a later video that is recorded just so that way I can show you guys some more of the deeper gameplay. Anyways, that is going to do it for us today. This is our first indie stream review of a game. Probably will be the last, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Grimmy from Grimlight Games, and as always, I'll see you in the